Hello everybody, welcome to Unit 2.2. This week we are continuing this unit module, we're continuing our discussion of conformity and rebellion. We'll be focusing on poetry. Yay, exciting, right? Man, I'm stoked actually because I love poetry and I love to share poetry with other people and to force my students to read poetry. But seriously, it should be fun. Now, the terms to know for this week are end-stopped line and enjambment. A couple things you might need to do a Google search of. You can find those pretty easily, actually. So define them, use them in your discussion, give yourself some extra credit. And let's see, the reading assignments, like I mentioned, are all poems this week. All but one are in the textbook. One is online. I'll give you a link there. And per usual, the supplemental texts, because we need the supplemental texts because they're awesome, give us a greater experience with the literature. Our discussion boards for this week are, let's see here, we have one on the poet as activist and poetry as activism, discussing the idea that poets write poetry to instigate some change in the world and in readers. And the other is performing the pleasure and sense of a poem, wherein you will be asked to prepare to perform and then to perform one of the poems from this week or this unit's reading, including the individual choice. So you can get more information on that here through this link. But to record those poems, I've pointed to 3 different resources that you can find online that are, I think I said they're free. Anyway, one is recordmp3.org. You can just go here. When you go there the first time, you'll have to click this button. Okay, got it. You'll need to allow the program to access your microphone, etc., etc. Pretty easy to use. And then the other is vocaroo.com. Click to record. This one will give you a link. Yes, it will give you a link, or you can download it to your computer, download the MP3 file. This one, you just click to record, it will give you a link. And then SoundCloud is similar. You can record directly to this. You'll have to sign up. It's a free account if you want to do that. But you can record it directly to SoundCloud and then share a link or download it to your computer. Or if you have your own audio software, you can use that as well. Just be sure that it's in a format that other people can access, something like MP3. So that's the discussion boards for the week. Such fun. I'm excited actually to hear to hear you read your poems, hear you perform them. Something that I love doing. I share poems frequently online, actually. Read them. And see, I think that's everything for this week, but I did want to touch upon another issue that's kind of come up as I've read through and paid attention to the discussion boards, and it's related to the idea of academic honesty. Now, if you look back at the syllabus, which I have right here, of this academic honesty portion that talks about you being students in university courses constantly engage with ideas generated by others. And when you come across those ideas and when you incorporate them into your writing and when you discuss them, you need to acknowledge where those sources come from. I've seen instances in the course where a student has taken ideas from somewhere else and incorporated them into their own writing, but they haven't given the other person credit for that. Now that's an easy enough thing to do online. You can just share a link, but you do need to give credit to the ideas. I've also seen instances where some students it seems like they've copied comments that other students have written and changed them up a little bit so they look a little different, but I can tell that they've come from another student. So that doesn't really fly. Consider that academic dishonesty. And I don't want to pursue those things any further than just giving you this warning via this screencast. But if you look at the English department's academic honesty policy, and they call it the plagiarism statement. But I encourage you to look closely at this to see how plagiarism is defined by Idaho State's English and Philosophy Department, so that you can stay away from that, so that you can be academically honest, because that's an important thing. You want to participate in the forum of ideas, the marketplace of ideas we have going on here, but you want to do it in a way that's respectful and respectful to and responsible with other people's words and other people's language, so that you give them credit and you're not taking it all for yourself. It's an important thing when we're dealing with and talking about literature, that you give the other party credit. I hope that makes sense. I don't want to do this. Don't want to pursue it again, like I mentioned, any further than just giving you this warning to be careful. Don't just directly copy and paste another person's work. Don't paraphrase without giving someone else credit. Write your own comments yourself. Now, you can consider this your warning. I can ask you if I feel that it's necessary to resubmit any work that I feel is not academically honest, or I could pursue a grade reduction or failing, depending on how far we need to pursue that. So again, I just encourage you to pay attention to that, to be honest with the language you're using with others, and responsible with that language, so that you give them credit, etc., etc., and you're not taking it all for yourself, especially if it's coming from another person's language. Now, if you have questions about this, please do feel free to let me know, or if you have questions about anything else related to the course, let me know. My inbox is always open.